am finally watching Drag Race Mexico Season 1, getting a good idea of who each one of these contestants are. And this Sunday, I will be chatting about the first 3 episodes on my Drag Race podcast. Feel free to check that out. But today, I want to rank every one of the Mi Tierra runways from 11 to 1. This is the very first episode. This will be the only one this week that I will be talking about. So let's get into these, starting at number 11, where I put Margaret Ya. Yikes. Why does she look like some kind of bad combination of like Ellie Diamond and Antonina Nutshell? Like, this whole look is so bad. I love the political commentary of wanting to talk about the smelly city, having the trash, having the birds, having the poo. I get it. I want drag to be giving political messages just as much as anybody else, maybe if not more, but can't those political messages also be pretty? This did not have to be so butt ugly. There's no shape. There's very little drag to it. It's just trash, like actual trash. And it's not fierce. At number 10 is Miss Vallarta. I did not see the seahorse portion of this until I was really looking at it, and then I noticed it. Now I see it, but at first it just didn't connect with me. I'm also such a dirty eagle screech person. All I saw was Statue of Liberty because of this very specific coppery green. And I want to say, even in the episode, one of the girls said something about New York as she was walking down. So I think they even got that reference. It's not necessarily bad. It's just not that electrifying. It's a pretty basic bodysuit with a skirt on it and a big seahorse attached. It needed a lot more volume. It needed a lot more depth of color. It's neither here nor there for me, but it's also not great either. It's just a low look. Not very good for your very first impression on the runway. In number 9 is Vermelia Noir. I think this look is so Mexican looking, and I love that. It's a great celebration. I think color palette wise of the culture, I just think there's a lot of strange choices that were made specifically in the makeup, which looks a little creepy. It's really intense, but I think the pleating is meticulously crafted on that skirt. I love the exterior of that and how it's been lined. It's all visually interesting. The pieces are right. It's just not quite styled in a way that makes it look fierce. And I want ferocity with drag. And number 8 is Galavaro. I almost put this one tick lower, but I really like Gala's makeup. I think overall, it's just a very simple look. It's a lot of butterflies, which I love, but it's not the Laganja butterfly sleigh that we saw in season 6. This is a lot more honey mahogany caftan collection to me. I don't really like it that much. It's not really enchanting me fiercely, but I do think it's styled better than Vermelia's was, which is why she's higher. But look and concept wise, I would say it's lower. In number 7 is Serena Morena. I have so many thoughts about this look, namely the part where she knocked off her chicken feather cuff on her way out of the runway. That was so beyond silly and camp in a way that she was not meaning to do, but knocked me out and had me hollering. I think it's a pretty simple mini dress. It's not really breaking any ground. It is neither a sleigh nor a chop. It's just kind of here. Is it exciting? Not really. Does it tell me anything about her hometown? Not really. Is the color palette nice? Yes. Would I want to see this again? Probably not. In number 6 is Argenis, and I am specifically and only referring to part 1 of the look, because if I also factor in part 2, I like the waist up, but I'm not a fan of the cut of the lower half. It almost looks like a diaper, and I know what she's referencing specifically. I just don't like the way that it's been constructed for drag. I don't think the reveal portion pushes it to where I want to see from drag queens and what gets me excited for drag. I want a fantasy, and this isn't quite giving me fantasy, where the pre-reveal is there's sparkle, there's rhinestones, there's graphic prints, there's an interesting shape, even if it's just a square. There's a lot of color blocking. I love the shoes with that. It's got a little peak of sexuality. It's really going somewhere, I think, special that sadly the reveal just isn't going. In number 5 is Pixie Pixie, giving us the exact thing that she promised to deliver in her entrance, was this noir fantasy, a creature, kind of gothic, but never scary. I really love the cut of this dress. This is giving me a high fantasy. I love those pops of red on the black. I think that makes a big statement. That hat is gorgina. I love the makeup. She has crafted her skills so perfectly that in this first runway, she's able to showcase herself in an impactful way for the first runway. In number 4 is Regina Voce. There's so much going on with all of these prints and patterns and materials. There is so much, and that's usually something I get on about and I don't like often, but something about this works for me. I think it's all of these graphic shades of silver on that black. I think it's the right volume of loud, and it is so drag queen. Like, there's literally everything on here. There's a corset top, there's a latex bodysuit, there's wings, and there's aluminum, there's sparkle, there's sequins, there's multi-textured fabrics, there's everything you could expect. Like, yes, diva, you better have worn everything from your closet all at once. This is such a long-term working girl look, as is most of the things in her package, and I think this is the one time that I turned up to it the most. Does it tell me anything about her? I don't think so, but is it fashion? In a strange way, it is.
It's fashion.
In number 3 is Matraca. I love this pink so much. The shape is exaggerated. It's fantastical. It's a fantasy. It is so spectacular, and it has this richness of culture that is so infused into it that you can see from top to bottom. I love that funky yellow print that is on those leggings going into the shoes. All the colors that were used in that fabric, you can also see in the headpiece. It is such a perfect look. Maybe you could argue there's one too many props. Maybe she probably could have left one thing off the runway, but even still, I think Matraca looks great. In the number 2 spot is Lady Quero. I like the orange pop of color the most on this. I think that graphicness is eye-catching. It's pleasing to me, and this dress she mentions is very special to her. I think it definitely tells a story about who she is, about what she would like for her future, how she sees her hometown. I think the textures of this bridal wear are so luxe. I think any bride would want to wear that. I'm fascinated by a lot of Quero's style throughout the season, but this one knocked me out and blew me away, and I think is one of her best moments in the season, which is kind of a bummer that it happened so early, because I think a lot of the rest of her package doesn't really stack up to this very first look, but you can tell she put a lot into it. And then in the number 1 spot is Christian Peralta, because, I mean, look at the material. I love this sheer blue dress. Look at all of those ribbons that are so impeccably placed. And when you zoom in on that look and you see all of the details, the way that it has been remarkably pleated so that it ruffles and has these ridges all the way around in that heart shape, perfectly framing the face and the chest. That sapphire blue looks luxe on her. Every inch has been thought of, and every inch has been paid attention to. And this is a sign of a professional, and it makes sense that she is out here on these streets supporting an entire family by just doing drag, because you can tell she knows what she's doing and she's good at it. I'm a big fan of this look. I totally understand why she won the first week, and honestly, I think that she probably could win the entire season just because of this look, but there is still so much more to go, so much more to discuss, and so many more episodes to perceive. So check out my podcast this Sunday if you want to hear more of my thoughts on the first 3 episodes. Let me know what some of your favorite looks were in the comments below, and I will see y'all on the flip.